All right, here's a direct application of the addition formulas in particular. And the problem says alpha and beta are acute angles. And we're given the cosine of alpha is the ratio 8/17 and tangent of beta is 4/3. And we're to find the sine of the sum of alpha and beta, the cosine of the sum, and then the quadrant containing the angle alpha plus beta. So first off, the minute I see the angles are acute, I'm going to note that they're in quadrant 1, each one of them. And I know that the cosine value of alpha is a ratio of 8/17. Using the Pythagorean theorem, we can find the third side. And in this case, you have a Pythagorean triple. Okay, so this has a nice value of 15. All right, now secondly, the angle beta is also in quadrant 1. Beta's tangent value is 4/3, so that's y to x is 4/3. And the Pythagorean theorem here gives us the value 5. So we know that we already know the cosine of alpha. We were given this part, so we already know this, but let's restate it. Cosine of alpha is 8/17. And notice that the sine of alpha is 15/17. Both values positive again in quadrant 1. Alright, similarly, tangent's 4/3 for beta, and that gives us the cosine of beta is 3/5, and the sine of beta is 4/5. Okay, now that we've assembled the sine and the cosine values for each angle, I'd like you to go back and look at your sine formula, which goes sine, cosine, keep the middle, cosine, sine, and then fill in the values. Sine of alpha, 15/17, cosine of beta, 3/5, plus cosine of alpha, 8/17, times sine of beta, which is 4/5. Now you do have access to a calculator, but nonetheless, when you have these small boxes in WebAssign, the tendency is for you to have to put in a calculated value, and here I'd like for you to actually put in the fraction. So this is 45/85 plus 32/85, or a total of 77/85. Okay, now in a similar manner, let's use the cosine formula. I'll put it down here, which is cosine alpha, cosine beta, change the middle, sine alpha, sine beta, and filling in our values, 8/17 for cosine alpha, 3/5 for cosine of beta, minus 15/17 for sine of alpha times 4/5 for sine of beta. We have 24/85 minus 60/85 for a total of negative 36/85. Now, if the calc pad had popped up, then we could have just left our answers here or here if we had a calc pad, okay? But in the absence of the calc pad, we're going to take it down to a nice fraction. Okay, now how do we answer the part C of the question? In which quadrant does the angle alpha plus beta lie? Well, notice that your sine value here is positive and your cosine value is negative, so that tells you this must lie in quadrant 2.